This week, we're talking about micromanagement. What is it? Well, it's nothing good. Nothing good about micromanaging. In all honesty, I would rather be called a four-letter word than being called a micromanager. And I know that because I've been one in the past. Micromanaging is one of the worst things that you can do for your team, your company, or yourself. So let's just break that down a little bit. So this week I was reading an article by Donna Goodacre, and the name of the article was Micromanagement is Not a Leadership Strategy, I think was the full title. And she was spot on. I shared the article on LinkedIn if you want to see it. But she started out by saying that micromanagement should not ever be a word that you use to describe your management style. And I agree, because it's not leadership, it's controlling. It's not mentoring, it's anti-learning. And she goes on and on. So here's the truth. Micromanagement is fearful, undermining, and demotivating to your team in general. And it impacts your team in ways that you may not know or think about. And we're going to talk about those today. I'm Sheila Butler, and if you like to talk all things leadership with a focus on clarity, courage, and a super low tolerance for BS, you're in the right place. So maybe you felt it. And we've all heard that micromanaging is dangerous, it's detrimental, and it's just really bad for business, no matter how you slice it. But some people want to know, is there science that backs up that feeling? And yeah, there's actually quite a bit of science around it. And in general, the research and the studies, it shows that micromanaging can lead to increased stress, increased anxiety on your team members and your employees, and the constant scrutiny and the lack of autonomy that comes with all of that micromanaging. Yeah, well, it's what we would call a perfect storm for psychological distress, and that affects business, that affects work performance, and that affects personal well-being in general. One of those surveys actually pointed out that 79% of the respondents reported experiencing micromanagement. And approximately 69% of those folks, they were considering getting another job. But the big factor was that 36% actually changed jobs. Now, the most interesting thing was that in the same survey, they surveyed the leadership, and of that leadership, 74% of the leaders said, hey, I'm doing a great job. They felt that they were an inspiring leader. Unfortunately, only 27% of those employees agreed with that. So the truth is, you might not know it, but you are micromanaging, and it's not good for your team. So let's talk about the way that micromanagement negatively impacts your business. Number one, it damages employee morale and motivation. And it does this because of a lack of trust and autonomy, which leads to decreased job satisfaction and truly the constant scrutiny and sheer control. It suppresses creativity and innovation. So if you think that by micromanaging and controlling a team member that it's going to improve their morale, you're looking at it totally wrong. It's not going to. It's going to do the complete opposite. Number two, micromanaging leads to inefficiencies and a lack of productivity. And a big part of that is because you, as the micromanager, and because of the control you want to have on things, you now have become the bottleneck in your business. So nothing can get approved. People are waiting on you. You go back and do a lot of rework. It causes a lot of stress. So when it comes to productivity and efficiency in general, micromanaging decreases your productivity. Therefore, that decreases your profitability. It's bad for business. Number four, micromanaging leads to a high employee turnover. And that shouldn't be surprising, right? Now, the funny thing is that you, as the micromanaging leader or boss, you're probably telling yourself that they're leaving because they're just not a good employee. They couldn't get all their work done. They weren't productive. They weren't efficient. The truth is, it was probably you. You micromanaged them into a point that they could not be productive and efficient. They could not think creatively. That's a problem. So employee turnover really increases with micromanagement, and that's expensive. Number five, micromanaging is bad for you, the micromanager. So what ends up happening is not only are you the bottleneck, you are the fixer of all things. You are the lead whack-a-mole player. You are the fireman that's not sustainable. So you having a lack of ability to delegate, to let go, to let the team members do what they need to do, let them go and solve those problems, you do it for them, you've set yourself and everyone up for failure. And if you think you ever want to go away on a vacation or do anything like that without your entire company imploding, that's probably not going to happen. Okay, I know you're thinking micromanagement can't be all that bad. And okay, maybe there is a time and a place for it. Let's talk about a few of those things. Number one, okay, nuclear facilities. It's probably important. Healthcare, brain surgery. Those are great places to have micromanagement. So anytime that the risk is high, a little bit of micromanagement will be good there. Number two, with training and onboarding. So onboarding, proper onboarding is one of the most important things that you can do for a new hire. And if you do it well and you end up being a really good leader, that will probably turn out to be a good employee. So micromanaging during the training and onboarding process makes sense. Train them well, they will do well. Ignore them, micromanage them, they won't. Number three, if you have a problem employee, now, I will link my video to the problem employee video that I did last week, because most of the time it's not an employee problem, it's a leadership problem. That's beside the point. So anyways, if you have a team member that you are coaching and counseling and they need some help, micromanaging that situation might make sense. If they're on a PIP or they're on a performance plan, they're on a PIP or something like that, or just needs a little extra attention and time, a little micromanaging, mindful micromanaging around that makes sense. And let's say that you implement a new software or a new process. Okay, micromanaging a little bit around that makes sense. You implement a big change in software in your company, you want to micromanage. You want to look at how things are going. You want to have a process for that. That helps and it doesn't hinder. And then last but not least, maybe if you have a highly skilled task that needs to be done, maybe there's a big presentation that is due to a large client that you're trying to acquire, that makes sense. Helping your team, micromanaging that little thing, that could be helpful. So let's talk about how you can help yourself stop being that really pesky micromanager. And the first thing to do is, hi, my name is Sheila. You're right. It's self-awareness. You have to realize it. You have to know that you're micromanaging. You have to know those triggers. Maybe you even involve your team. Maybe you talk with your team about it and see where you might be a little bit more controlling than you need to be. But the first step in stopping that really negative process of micromanaging is to first realize that you're doing it. The next thing is to focus on the outcome and not the details. So one of the most important things that you can do with your team is to everyone understand the definition of done. So if you all know what the definition of done looks like, I did another video and talked about painting the pig. If you all know what it's supposed to look like, then it's okay that people get there on a different path. So if you know what that's going to be, you'll have to micromanage less because you've set the expectations, clarity, expectations, and goals from the beginning. Focus on the goal and not the steps to get to the goal. The third thing is, empower your team. My guess is you're a very bright, smart person, or you wouldn't be in the position that you're in, right? So I also would assume, you know what they say, but I'm assuming that you've probably hired the right person, right? You've picked a person that has great skill sets. But if you micromanage them to death, they're not going to be able to step up and do what they need to do. So empower your team. Delegate. Sit on your hands. Don't put out every fire. Don't be the whack-a-mole player. Don't be the fireman. Hand those devices away and let your team do what your team was hired to do. And improve your communication. I cannot talk enough about how important communication is. We all think that we're being clear. Nothing drives me more bananas about myself, and I think I'm a pretty decent communicator. But when I get an email back that maybe I've been working on something that's in my head, I send it out, and immediately somebody comes back with a question. Instead of getting frustrated at them, I get frustrated at me because I obviously didn't communicate it well. So if you want to have to micromanage less, communicate more. and communicate and communicate and communicate. You can't communicate enough to your team. Mindset. Change your mindset from being a boss to being a mentor. It's different. I heard something today that said, would you criticize a kid that's just learning to ride a bike? Yeah, probably not. Maybe, but probably not. So give people the chance to learn to ride that bike. Take the training wheels off, push them away, and let them go. Let them fall, help them up, and push them off again. You've got to hand some of those things off, give trust to your team, delegate that out. But it's all about mindset, right? You've got to change, or you should, in my opinion, coulda, woulda, shoulda. If you want to stop being a micromanager, you have to shift your thinking from being a manager to being a mentor. Stop controlling and start guiding. Stop telling and start asking great questions. Change your mindset. If you change your mindset, you'll change your team. You'll change the entire dynamics of your business. Another one, accept imperfections. You can't be perfect. You're not perfect. No one's perfect. Stop expecting everything to be perfect. Done is better than perfect. So be okay with letting go and just maybe having that first crappy draft. Now, I'm not recommending that you put out poor work, but it doesn't have to be perfect. Again, clarity, know what the goal is, and help everyone get there. Another really big one is seek accountability for yourself. So oftentimes I will see that really micromanaging boss is not the best at keeping up with their own things. They lack on things. They're not perfect. They miss meetings. They miss deadlines. But they have a really hard time forgiving their team, but they tend to forget that they're that way sometimes. So be accountable for yourself. Be accountable when you stumble. Be accountable for that team. You know, after we talk about micromanagement, what I have found with people that I've worked with, they're not bad people. And they really want the right thing. They just don't know how to go and get it. You may want the right thing, but you just don't know how to go and get it. If you want to be a better leader and less of a micromanager, you have to learn to empower others. It's not about you. You got to set your ego aside, set your expectations aside, be okay with where people are, meet them where they are and help them get to where they need to go, but empower your people. They'll do it. You can do it. If you want to create a healthier, happier, more productive, more profitable business, you got to step away from micromanaging. You have to mentor and lead and control less. Don't be the bottleneck. You've got this. Step away, practice the learning, practice knowing when you're micromanaging. That's part of it. Catch yourself, empower your team to help you know when you're micromanaging, and you're going to get there. And your business is going to be more successful for it. You're going to be happier. Your team's going to be happier. And ultimately, you're going to be more profitable. And that's what business is all about.